So after talking to hundreds of clubs, the number one thing that they tell me is that they don't have coaches in order to grow. So in this video, we're going to cover exactly how you can grow even though you don't have coaches, and how you should think in order to actually get coaches. And you're gonna, by the end of this video, realize that getting coaches is actually a mindset shift more than anything else. Now, before I get to the rest of this video, if you are a club that wants to grow and actually maybe get help with getting coaches or bringing in new people or making sure that these people stay long term, then I want you to click on the link below so you can check what we do. We help clubs for free, so I'm sure that you're gonna find it interesting if you clicked on this video. Now, with that said, let's continue to the rest of the video. So, like I said in the beginning of this video, when it comes to actually growing without coaches and when it comes to actually getting coaches to your club in the first place, everything has to do with your mindset. And I know that a lot of clubs, when they think about coaches, they think about like these prestigious good coaches, that they are amazing and that they're gonna save the club, which is great. Some coaches are actually really good and they could help your club and they could potentially save it, but the likelihood of you landing a coach like that is close to zero, because those coaches know what they are worth. They are probably getting paid a lot in the big clubs that they are coaching, or maybe in the federations, and they are not really going to come to your club if you don't pay them accordingly. So now that you know that, then it becomes a little bit more clear that, okay, we cannot get a coach from externally, or some clubs actually go so far and think that they can get a coach just out of nowhere, that the coach is just going to fall out of the sky, which is not true, as we both know. So now that we know that you cannot get the best coaches and you cannot just wait for someone to appear from nowhere, then what are we left? We are actually left with the option of developing coaches within your club. Now that we know that, everything becomes more clear. So here is the structure that we use when we help clubs to grow and that have worked really well for us and the clubs that we help. So the first step is actually lowering your expectations and your qualifications of coaches. Now, this should go without saying, but if you really want to bring some people into coaching because you don't have people to coach, then the last thing you should do is basically make it this high-end position that only a really good coach is going to get. So what you really want to do here is basically just lower the bar super low, so you can get maybe members that have been at your club for a long time, or parents that are at your club constantly and helping around, or people that are maybe from a nearby club and haven't coached before, and you want them to get into coaching. Now, once you do that, you're going to have a coaching team. For sure, they're not going to be the best coaches, but at least you're going to have a coaching team. Now, the second part of this formula is basically, now that you have these beginner coaches, you need to give them people so they can actually practice on. So what you do, the best way to do it is basically to bring in a group of beginners so that your new coaches can actually train on the beginners, and so that they become better coaches, and so that you actually get the beginners into the club and you can get them to members. So that's usually the second step. You make sure that you bring in a group of new people into the club, and you make sure that your new coaches actually train them. And once you do that, two things are going to happen. For the first, the new coaches that you just brought in are going to become more confident, better. Some of them are actually going to really like it, and they're going to be with your club long term. Some of them maybe see that this was not really something for them, and that's totally fine. At least you're going to build like a reliable coach group, and now that you have brought in the people, you're going to also have a group that these coaches actually train and continue to develop on. And because you bring the new people in, you are also left with some revenue from these new people. Now, once you get this revenue, you can actually go ahead and use this money to both cover the coach's expense that you have, because I'm a big advocate of actually paying out the coaches and making sure that the coaches actually want to stay at your club. And like I said before, this is not just for the best coaches out there that you need to pay, but of course, even for these like entry-level coaches, everyone needs to get paid, feel valued, because otherwise, why would they stick around with your club, right? So now that you have this coaching group with the new coaches that are getting better and better, of course, you want to make sure that they're getting paid, you want to make sure that they actually feel valued, you want to make sure that they get some education so they actually become better and better. I actually have made a video about this, how you make sure that the coaches that come within the club actually stay within the club. You can see it on this channel. It's called We Have Coached 187 coaches. This is how we got into coaching. Now, but that said, so you're going to have this coaching group that becomes an asset for the group, that are becoming better and better, and because you brought the new people, you're going to be left also with some money. Now, what we usually advise the clubs to do is basically the third step. Once you remember, the first step was basically that you lower your bar and you bring people into coaching, even if they maybe are not the best coaches. The second part was running a program at a large enough scale so you can actually get the coaches to get better at coaching by training new people, and so that you can bring in new revenue from the new people into the club. Now, the third step is that once you have done this, like I said, your coaches are going to become better and better on one side, and now because you have brought in the money from the new members, you can actually go out there and try to find a really good coach. And because you still have the other coaches that are maybe not the best coaches but are getting better and better, now you can allocate the coaches within your club accordingly. Let's say that you bring only one really good coach, then you can use that coach for your competitive team or for your youth team, and then you use all the other coaches for the novice groups and the beginners groups. And guess what happens? Once you bring people in and you continue with this philosophy that I actually create coaches from within the club, then you can actually use the new people that got in through the program as next year's coaches. And that's something that we do with the clubs that we help. We usually bring in people and then use these people the next year to actually help out with running a beginner initiative. So it becomes really like a flywheel. You have the part of the club where you just need to have coaches and maybe they don't need to be like at the highest level, that is constantly growing because new members are getting into the coaching roles, some are quitting and some are staying, they're getting better and better. So the quality of these coaches goes really high, and because the new revenue is coming in from the new people, then you can use some of that revenue to actually bring in new coaches that are already good, already established, and you can use them for your really high quality athletes so they get the best of the best. So that way you basically have covered your club on both ends, both like the recreational side and the competitive side. So hope this video actually gave you something. It helped you think right when it comes to coaches. And like I said, we have had clubs that have had 0 coaches, and by just doing what I told you in this video have went to having 20 coaches now. So next time you say to yourself that we cannot grow because we don't have coaches, like I said in the beginning of this video, it's more about actually having the right mindset. Because as you probably realized in this video, in order to get coaches, your club needs to grow, right? You cannot just bring a bunch of coaches and they are doing nothing, because you need to pay these coaches. So you basically start by lowering the bar, bringing more people into coaching that maybe are not qualified as coaches, and you make sure that you give them a clear structure so that allows you to bring new people in. And once these people bring in and you price things right and you make money, then you can both bring a really good coach and make sure that you actually develop your coaching team by giving them more education, and that you bring these people that are good into your all-growing coaching team. So that's basically the blueprint. That's how we have done it. It works really good. And I know also that even the big clubs that we are talking to are doing something similar. So hope you found this valuable. Now, like I said, if you actually want help with this stuff, that's basically what we do with clubs. And just like I said in the beginning of this video, we have a formula that allows us to do this for free for the club. So you can get help with everything that I said within this video absolutely for free at your club. What you can do is to click on the link below, growyourclub.com, and check how that works and book a call with us, and we can let you know if this can work for your club also. Now, that said, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you found some value in it. I will be seeing you on the next one.